eyes on a bigger prize, though. They want the division title.
This is a team that, 10 days ago, a lot of people were counting us out. This is a team that knows how to recover from adversity, and we just continue to push no matter what happens the day before, win or lose. The next day, we always have the same attitude, the same motivation, try to go out there and do the best and try to win a ball game. That's why we put ourselves in this position.
I think we tasted that a little bit last year, what it's like to be a winning team, and, we're hungry. We're not done yet.
There is no question that their eye is on a much bigger prize. Buddy Black was saying this afternoon when we gathered and had our first meeting back in February at Salt River Fields. Number one on the agenda, win the division title. Number two, move on to the playoffs and capture a world championship. In the NL West, the Rockies a half game in front of the Dodgers. They knocked off the Giants this afternoon, 10-6. It went final about a half hour ago. Let's check in with Ryan Spilborghs downstairs. He has a special guest. Ryan?
Ryan, 2 games remaining. Give me a sense of what it feels like in the clubhouse right now.
It's awesome right now, man. Obviously celebrated a little bit last night, but still a lot of work left to do. So we're gonna go out there tonight, play hard, and hopefully pull out a win.
I heard Cargo tell you it's been 2 years, 2 playoffs. You're the lucky horseshoe. What does it feel like? What does that mean to you, being a young player and getting a chance to go to playoffs in the first 2 years?
Awesome, man. It's awesome. I mean, you see the older guys who have had to fight for it and get it these last 2 years, and I'm just embracing it, enjoying it as much as I can with them, and yeah, it's fun right now. It's a fun endeavor.
How much support has it been from this club? And what does it mean for the group in general, with the fans being the way they are?
Oh, it's awesome, man. I mean, especially this last week and stuff like that, being home, it's been awesome. They packed it out, and we expect a big crowd tonight, so it's gonna be fun.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. Thanks, Ren. Drew, back to you.
All right, everybody ready to go? Everybody adorned in purple. John Gray sprinting to the mound, and it's fitting that he's sprinting to the mound, Jeff Houston, because he picked up his tempo not only in his delivery but between pitches in his 7 terrific innings against Philadelphia.
Well, that's why he picked up a little bit of velocity too, and I thought after he got through this first inning against the Phillies, he really settled down after that. Pitched aggressively. He stayed out of the middle portion of the zone, stayed down, had 7 ground ball outs in that affair. Of the 7 strikeouts, only 1 of them came on the fastball, 3 on the slider, 3 on the curveball. So kudos to John to come out there and pitch like I know he wanted to pitch, but just more aggressive in the overall tone.
And Jeff, we've talked about John over the last 3 years. He's immensely talented. He was the 3rd pick in the draft back in 2013. He is a wonderful kid. He's a hard-working kid. He wants desperately to be great. We've seen great at different times. He also is aware of the narrative that how has he handled pressure not so well at times.
Yeah, not
and
the
here's another opportunity.
Exactly. I mean, we saw in the wild card game last year, didn't pitch like he wanted to. The game in LA, you're thinking, man, this is it. He didn't pitch it. So I know for John, after talking to him that last start after Philadelphia, that he wants to be that guy. He wants to be like Kyle. He wants to be like Herman. I mean, he kind of looks to those guys and says, yeah, what they're doing is something that I want to do. Tonight's an opportunity for him. Everybody in this ballpark, including the players, know what just happened out in San Francisco. The TVs were on everywhere. It was on during batting practice on the big screen here. So, John's aware of it, and now it's a case, okay, block that out and pitch your game tonight.
Absolutely. Adam Eaton's going to be the first up. Let's take a look at the Southwest batting order for Dave Martinez tonight. Couple of changes. Again, Eaton pinch hit last night, but he's in there against the righty Gray. And then Trey Turner, you ought to keep him off the bases. Harper, Rendon's had a spectacular year. The 19-year-old Soto. Wieters is in there behind the plate. Depot getting the start at second base. First pitch of the night's outside, ball 1. Tony Walters doing the catching. And I would look in these first few pitches to hopefully see the same thing you saw against Philadelphia, with John working quickly and pounding the zone. That's back off of John into center field, and Eaton has a base hit. Now you got to hope John's okay.
He's trying to shake it off. I think they're going to go look at him, though.
That squared him up pretty good.
Where this got John. Oh, ouch. That's what hurts. It went right off the elbow area. Closer look on the Subaru Supermo. Can't hardly keep up with it. That's how hard it was hit.
I don't know. Did he get the hip on that?
I thought it
replay?
got the forearm.
I think you may be right. Looking at it. No, you know, it did get his body. He got his body, not his elbow.
Nothing there. Well, hopefully it is the body. That would be a better.
Yeah, you don't want obviously him to get hit in the arm. That's frightening for a pitcher. And I'll say the same things that all announcers say after an incident like this. You know, adrenaline now takes over. When you have to sit down, does it tighten up, and will it affect him, you know, an inning from now?
Yeah, I think where he got hit, I think he should be okay. I think you're right, Drew. I saw it coming off the arm, but he got the arm out of there, and it was right off the hip side area, right above the hip.
I got to be alert for a bunt here, just because just had a pitcher get hit. You got plus speed at first, you got plus speed at the plate.
Tough guy to double up.
Sliders low.
Turner's only grounded into 6 double plays all year, and he's played in. This is game number 160 for Turner.
It's actually 161. He's played them all.
Oh, 161. Yeah, I forgot to add in tonight's game.
He is. Yep. He has started all but 4 this year, and the 4 he did not start, he appeared in. That's fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Washington last night out hit the Rockies 12-8. In fact, Kyle Freeland, such a competitor and such a wonderful talent, gave up a season high 11 hits, but only 2 runs in 6 innings.
Talked to Kyle a little bit today. He was saying he was very impressed with this Nationals lineup. See how he said there was really no breathing room for him.
And that's why it has been such a disappointment in DC that the Nationals are going to go home tomorrow. Great lineup, led of course by the man you just saw in the on deck circle. And that is ripped to center field. And this seems like last night revisited, unfortunately, where there was a ton of traffic in the early innings. And now you have Harper coming up against Gray. Here's a look at the Red Robin defensive alignment. We're going to focus on the 2 guys in the middle because they're both Gold Glove caliber. LeMahieu has been awarded that on a couple of occasions. Story will earn his maybe this year. And they have played together up the middle more than any other double play combination in the now 26-year history of the Rockies. 330 times they've been the duo up the middle, and you don't get better than that. The Rockies had some great duos.
Yeah, they have.
Tulo and DJ. Barmy could really pick it. Slider swung on and missed.
Well, that's a good early sign from John to get that slider with some movement down. You know, with this type of lineup, it's not the Phillies lineup. Let me just put it that way, where you can get away with some pitches. So John's really going to have to move the ball around, put some on the fastball, take some off.
Beat him there, and it's 0-2. Harper is 3 for 5 against John Gray. John's numbers, for what it's worth, career-wise against Washington, not good. But he only has 1 start. Excuse me, he has 3 starts against him. 1 this year. I'm looking at different numbers. 6.48 ERA in those 3 starts, covering 16 2/3.
Yeah, he had the 1 start at Washington earlier this year, 5 2/3 with the 8 hits, 5 earned runs.
Good block by Walters.
I think last night for Harper with the left-hander, he was just thinking block the ball to right field, stay inside of it. I think with the right-hander, he's got a different mindset tonight. He's looking more on the pull side.
Yeah, and you could tell that right away by his approach versus what we saw him trying to do with Freeland. And he did it successfully against Kyle. Threw out a couple hits to left, also lined out in that direction. 1-2 on the dangerous Bryce Harper. Did he go? Yes, he did. Dave Rackley said he went around. No argument from Bryce Harper. 1 out.
That was a curveball, 82 miles an hour for John. No, he definitely went on the Subaru Supermo. The rotation, that 12-6 bite, come down, and then a good block from Tony too. Because you got speedsters out there, and Adam Eaton at second and Trey Turner at first.
And now you have Anthony Rendon. We said this last night. He has had a marvelous September. In fact, he's hit 12 of his last 13, a .460 average.
Including 5 home runs, 20 RBIs in those 13 games.
And that's in there for a strike. Well, at least in the ensuing pitches after getting hit by that line drive, John looks to be okay. He'll feel a lot better if he can get out of this mess. 0-1. And this is to shallow center. Charlie started in a little bit. Now he's going to work behind the baseball. And Eaton's going to stay put. 2 outs. Those are 2 large outs. And now you got to deal with the young phenom, the 19-year-old Juan Soto. There is no breathing room really in this lineup.
Not really. And even last night you think, well, okay, they got Adrian Sanchez and Spencer Keyboom hitting 7th and 8th, but they went 2 for 3 and 2 for 3 respectively. And then Soto, this young rookie, had again, I go back because I had a long conversation with Kyle today, just still talking about yesterday's game. He goes, man, I threw some sliders to him yesterday. I thought he was going to bite on him, and he didn't.
Everybody we talked to about Soto, they're impressed by his strike zone judgment as a 19-year-old. He really is able to, yeah, he's really able to slow the game down. There's Dave Martinez, first-year skipper. 2 outs, 2 on. Line toward Dahl. David can't make the catch. He thought he had it. And this is going to score at least 1, maybe 2. Yep, 2-run double. It was hit hard. David saw it and was unable to pull it in. Kind of froze him.
I just said a minute ago, he can hit the ball the other way, and he can also do it with some power. Here was the power. David goes over, thinks he's got a beat on it, and that ball just kept carrying. So close on the Subaru Supermo. 68 RBIs now after he scores Eaton and Turner. That leads all National League rookies.
Mark Reynolds. Reynolds takes a strike. You know, we have the advantage of seeing it from behind, and the ball was really clipped obviously off the bat, and I'm watching David, and you're thinking, man, that we've seen so many times the ball carries, you know, an extra 10 feet.
Yeah.
That's a borderline pitch. Larry Vanover says it's low. 1-1. Vanover, the crew chief, he's at first. Hunter, excuse me, behind the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt is at first. Chris Caccioni's at second. Dave Rackley at third. Two and one. John was close to getting out of it. The concern for Buddy Black is when you break down what you've seen so far, there have been 3 balls absolutely punished.
Yeah, the 2 line drives right up the middle, and then Soto double the left.
To third, tough hop, long throw, and out. No, called safe.
Nolan just
Reynolds beat it.
Yeah.
I mean, Nolan did everything he could. You have to drop step on that, don't you, Huey?
Oh yeah, if you come and get it, you're going to get eaten up. It might go off your arm and then go down the line, and somebody else is going to score. Now Mark got his toe in there, but that's all Nolan could do. Watch where he has to end up throwing this ball from. He's a foot and a half out into the grass behind third base, and it's just get it over in that neighborhood. No, but Drew, you're right. You have to drop step on that one. I mean, Nolan did everything defensively he could because it had a lot of topspin on it, and it's not like you were going to be able to get the short hop on it.
And then the only choice you have at that point, I'm going to ask you, Mark obviously doesn't run well. He visits with his former teammate. You can plant and fire over the top, or you could do what he did, just try to release it quickly and get it there.
Either option's okay. I just think where he caught it is so deep and such a long throw, it's not going to matter because if he takes that extra second to come up over the top, Mark's going to beat it out that way.
He needed an even slower.
Yes.
Guy.
Yes.
Yes. Here's Matt Wieters, the veteran catcher, former Oriole, takes a strike. Wieters has hit Gray hard. He's 4 for 9 with a home run against him. Huey mentioned Kieboom was behind the plate last night. I'm going to put this down right here. Tony's getting his work.
Yeah.
2-1.
It's about the 4th or 5th ball he's had to block already.
And now you're 3-1 on Wieters. Former All-Star with the Baltimore Orioles.
Long time with the Orioles.
Boy, I don't get that. I'm perplexed by it. It's like he was taken.
Why? I mean, it's like, wow, 3-1 fastball. I thought he'd come out of his shoes if he did anything and hook it foul.
On the inner half, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be the zone you're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Three and 2. Yeah, unless he outsmarted himself, said, I'm not going to get a 3-1 fastball, and it showed up. Never know.
Yeah.
And guess what? We never will know.
No, we won't.
Crowd involved, 3-2. And another foul ball. Well, the velocity is where it was on Monday's start against the Phillies. You've seen 96s and 97s, and there were a bunch of starts where it was more 93, 94, and occasional 95. 8th pitch of this battle upcoming. First and third for the Nats. They have 2 in. And this is popped up. Story waving his arms. And Trevor makes the catch. But a tough first inning for John Gray. 2-0 Washington just underway. They play more. The Nationals with 2 runs on 4 hits in the first, and now it's Rocky's turn. Here's the Southwest batting order. It begins naturally with Charlie Blackmon, who has an on-base percentage of .355, and then his buddy DJ LeMahieu will come up next. David Dahl has hit a home run in 5 consecutive ball games. Nolan, Trevor, Cargo, Ian Desmond. The only change from last night is instead of Chris Iannetta behind the plate, it's Tony Walters in that 8th spot. Of course, Chris hit a 469-foot home run. Also had a sharp single last night. Steven Strasburg out of San Diego State University. First pick in the entire draft in 2009. Then the next year they got Bryce Harper. So being bad was really beneficial for a couple of years for Washington.
Well, and then have 2 guys like that fall into your lap. You know, sometimes the drafts aren't that good. Folks, the changeup is his equalizer. Opponents hitting 159 against the changeup this year, 292 against the fastball.
Well, the first pitch misses. One of the interesting things about Steven Strasburg, because when you get drafted #1 as a pitcher, typically you're going to have a big arm. He's always had a big arm, except he is a guy that pitches with his curveball and his changeup more frequently, if you combine those two, than his fastball. And that's something that has developed over the years. His changeup's one of the better ones in baseball. You see his curveball here, 1-1. And you see that's a good one.
So both of those pitches, you know, the changeup's about 88 on average. The curveball's anywhere from 80 to 82, but you know, the curveball opponents hitting 180 against that. So when you have those 2 equalizers to go along with the fastball, and now he's going to mix in another changeup.
Outside. Charlie's 7 for 14 though against Strasburg, including a home run and 4 doubles. So he's had tremendous success against Strasburg, and in DC in April, that's what he did to his fastball.
Yeah, and he took the loss in that game.
And he didn't catch up there. It was off the plate. Charlie is a strikeout victim. 1 out, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. Here's a defensive alignment brought to you by Red Robin tonight. And Bryce Harper is in center field. When Robles does not play, he's not in the starting lineup, Adam Eaton no longer goes to center field. He's had so many injuries. He goes to right, and Bryce plays center. The other notable changes: Defoe at second base, this evening, and one of the biggest catchers in the game, Matt Wieters, 6'4" and about 250. Strike one.
Lance Parrish, Detroit.
Big man.
Is the first guy I think of when I think of somebody as big as Wieters.
I'll give you another name, and he's tied to Rockies history. Michael Barrett.
Oh yeah.
Who was the catcher with San Diego and Buddy Black when he received that throw from Brian Giles. Michael Barrett's a big man. Well, Buddy knows the kid on the mound. This is to the right side, base hit for DJ. David Dahl coming up very quickly. Buddy obviously really close with Tony Gwynn, and Buddy went to school at San Diego State after going to junior college. Tony took over the program there, and he told him about this freshman. So in the winters, from his freshman year through his junior year, his draft year, he would go watch Strasburg throw sides, go watch him throw in the winter. So he watched him evolve from when he was an 18-year-old to when he ended up going #1 overall.
Well, and a guy that was overweight and out of shape when he walked or came onto the campus of San Diego State.
Always strong in the lower body, but he completely changed his physique around, to your point. And nobody really, at least in Major League Baseball fans, realize that, because they've always seen this physique. He's always been in top shape. But that's something that he went through early in his collegiate career. Dahl stays off that. Borderline pitch, and it went the way of David. 2-0.
This is the 11th game in the 3 spot for David. 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, 12 runs scored, and 341 in this third in the batting order.
And that's nowhere close. 3-0.
That's what happens when you hit home runs in 5 straight.
Rockies down 2-0. Their magic number is 2. They control their own destiny, and that's ball 4. So now a little traffic for Nolan.
Only one that could have been called a strike on the Subaru strike zone. The rest were clearly out of the zone.
Here's something we haven't discussed yet. Strasburg's had a really good September in a year that's been interrupted twice by stints on the disabled list. He has pitched at Coors Field 4 times. His club, the Nationals, are 1-3 in those 4 games, and he has a 7.20 ERA. So it's not like he has an abundance or a reservoir of great confidence from appearing here in Denver.
And especially after his last start here. It was, I mean, there was some crooked numbers showing up against John. Excuse me, against Steven.
Nolan takes a strike. 3 for 12 in his matchups with Strasburg. He does own a home run. With a double to deep right center among his 4 at-bats last night. Look out. Used to have to worry about balls like that, but that just hit the net, dropped.
But it's still your immediate reaction, because it's just the first year of that netting. You watch it. And I can actually still kind of follow foul balls now, because before I would always turn my head because I was afraid of what was going to happen. I've seen too many times people get injured. That's like a ladder right there on the Subaru strike zone. Pitch 1 to 2 to 3. That's the ultimate climbing the ladder.
Off-speed count, 2 strikes. Rockies look to add their 47th. Last night was their 46th. They fell behind briefly 2-1 before the Desmond 2-run homer. Good swing. He's coming after him with fastballs. The difference with Strasburg now versus in his early years, still relatively young, but it's more 93, 94 94. And you don't see the 97 to 99.
Well, of course, he's 30 now.
Crazy.
Right? I still kind of think of him as younger in his 20s.
Nolan hanging tough.
Finally an off-speed pitch to Nolan. And he didn't miss that by much. Big gap in left center field for Nolan. Bryce Harper's way over and right.
That's like a DJ LeMahieu outfield shift.
Yeah.
Shocking with Nolan. I don't know what's going to happen, obviously, in this at bat. But Nolan seems to be seeing the baseball pretty well.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's fouled off some pitches with the fastball and then laid off that one after the curveball.
Two on, one out. Shot pass to Cole. It'd be wonderful to counterpunch immediately after that rough first inning for Gray.
Boy, and you have the guy that's done it so many times with runners in scoring position. A .332 average in his career. I mean, when you could say you're on the same list as the great hitters of Tony Gwynn and Rod Carew.
DJ singled to right. David Dahl walked on 4 pitches. Dahl the tying run here in the first, and he runs exceptionally well. Get out of play.
Get out. It is.
Already 21 pitches in for Strasburg. And Strasburg,
10 to Nolan, though, right?
Yeah, and Strasburg's last 5. We said he's pitched well in September and a little bit beyond. 2.51 ERA. However, they've been, kind of 5 and fly type of outings for Strasburg.
Yeah,
he's only thrown 28 2/3 over those 5 starts.
Yeah, his last start was just 4 innings.
In the air, long run because of the shift for Soto, and he gets in the neighborhood. It hung up forever.
I mean, he almost had to take an Uber to get to that ball.
Fortunately for Washington, Soto has young legs. He has center fielder legs, in fact.
He's playing way over, and he starts running. He just puts his head down. That was a track meet just to get to that ball.
That at bat lasted on the clock more than 5 minutes. And hopefully it'll pay dividends down the road for Nolan. So now with 2 outs, it's up to Trevor. 290, 35 jacks, 105 driven in. 0 for 2 and a walk last night.
The 105 RBIs that Trevor has had. He's had 56 of them with 2 outs, which leads all of baseball.
Just 2 career at bats against Strasburg. 0 for 2. This ball lined to deep right, and if it's fair, it's a big issue. It is a foul ball. Would have tied the game up.
So close to being a tie game. Yeah, it was foul by about a foot. Mercy. Trevor was halfway between first and second.
Yeah, we should have been in Boston, man.
That would have been a three-run home run.
Two strikes on Story.
The hard thing, too, once you get back into that box, you're still a little out of breath after running hard. You think you just tied it up, is now to just kind of take a deep breath and get the breathing back where you need it to be.
I'm perplexed by this. There's a reason. Obviously, they're scouting reports and how they want to pitch Story and Arenado. They're treating Trevor the same way they treated Nolan in the outfield.
Well, I think what it tells you is they're not going to try to come inside very much. They're going to try to stay away, saying if you're going to beat me, you're going to beat me going the other way.
Well, that last heater was inside.
I think it was a changeup.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Struck him out. So the Rockies will leave 2 on in the first. They trail 2-0 going into the second.
Rockies need to win 2 more games and they'll clinch their first ever division title. Last night during the celebration for the playoff berth, Carlos Gonzalez gave John Gray a little bit of a pep talk, letting him know, you know what, you're next. It's your turn. Kyle Freeland last night pitched a gem, earning his 17th win of the season. Oh, a little bunt action.
That's going to be a hit. That's a perfect bunt.
That was a perfect bunt from Defoe. Regardless, Carlos Gonzalez just giving that pass the baton mentality for something that's been here for the playoffs back in 2009, his rookie year, to seeing it last year, and then this year back-to-back for the first time in forever for the Rockies. I think it's important when you have that type of leadership and giving somebody like John Gray that confidence. Your team's got your back. Take the ball and go, guys.
Absolutely, and that's, you know, that's what you'd expect from a veteran player and what we've come to expect from Carlos Gonzalez. So that wasn't shocking at all. That's what we were talking about. You know, you got the question from a friend of yours earlier today. Hey, why were the Rockies celebrating? It was a celebration because, folks, when you put 7 months in, and in baseball, reiterate what I said in the open, it is the hardest sport to make the postseason. So you ought to celebrate a little bit. But there was cargo amid, you know, a little bit of champagne 3 or 4 or 5 minutes into the celebration, and he had his arm around John Gray. He was already thinking about this evening. And he wasn't alone, believe me.
No, after that celebration, and it lasted 15, 20 minutes, but it wasn't as loud and boisterous as it was last year. You know, guys were like, okay, we celebrated, great, we made it, let's go shower, let's get ready for tomorrow.
1-1 on Strasburg with Defoe at first, the bunt single. John also knows from personal experience and also from observing a Kyle Freeland last night, or Herman Marquez, you know, some of the guys that have gone out and had rough first innings, maybe you're giving up a marker or two early and still had high quality outings. And that's, you know, what John's got to put together.
And it's not just, you know, we've talked about a lot, you know, with the Rockies and giving up the runs in the first inning. You know what? It's across baseball where a lot of runs are being scored in the first inning. I mean, you got the first, typically your top 3 hitters are hitting in that first inning. So across baseball, the numbers are up runs wise in the first.
1-2. You get the punch out. No, he gets the bunt down. Gray's got to go to first. So Strasburg helps out his cause with the sacrifice, and that'll bring up Adam Eaton, who lined the ball off of John Gray to begin the evening. Need to come out and check on John. It hit him in the side, and he threw a couple of pitches after, as they customarily do, and nodded to the training staff and Buddy Black and Steve Foster that he was okay. Here's that line drive off the bat of Eaton.
Well, scary. It's the second pitch of the game, and it clips him good.
Well, you mentioned the first inning issues for the Rockies.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it, because they've given up a first inning run in more than 70 games this year. Buddy's never seen anything like it. There are going to be some teams, I think, that are going to really take a hard look at what Tampa's done a good portion of the year with an opener, because they've done it with great success. 1-1. And Tampa, hidden by the exploits of the Red Sox and Yankees, have had a really good year.
I think everybody scoffed at it at first.
Well, look at their first inning ERA.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I was kind of one of those guys that said, no, come on. Really?
It's worked for them.
Yeah, it has.
Eaton pulls it toward the hole. It's going to get through. Defoe's going to get a green light. Carr goes through to the plate. Won't have one. 3-0. So Adam Eaton is 2 for 2, and now the Nationals are up 3-zip.
Well, I think part of this, though, they playing fundamental baseball with 2 strikes. Steven Strasburg gets the bunt down to get Defoe into scoring position. And then Adam Eaton just reaches and pulls this one past DJ. And with Defoe's speed, he scores easily.
Trey Turner at the plate. He lined a single to center. This time of year, unless your name is Freeland or Marquez, Buddy Black's going to have a relatively short leash. Now tomorrow there's uncertainty. Buddy has a number of options that he has mapped out. Tyler Anderson threw a bullpen, 30-pitch bullpen, and came out of it, from all reports, with flying colors. Felt fine. You know, the shoulder had been tight earlier in the week. That's why he was skipped on Monday.
Yeah, his bullpen was yesterday, so he looked like he's ready to go. But then you got to also map out, you know, what happens on possibly Monday, possibly Tuesday, if everything goes right. Not until Thursday. So many different.
Yeah, there's so many scenarios, and obviously the number one thought is win tonight, win tomorrow,
exactly.
and then you don't have to worry about anything till Thursday. That's when the National League Divisional Series would begin. I heard it, you know, advanced. Again, Twitter is what it is. You know, people say, well, why are the Rockies throwing Freeland against the Washington Nationals on Friday? You have to. You're trying to win the division. You worry about wild card or play-in games. This ball's hit a ton to left field, and this one's gone. Trey Turner with his 19th, and now you're going to have to think I'm sure if you're Buddy Black about how to navigate the rest of the way. I'm saying he's going to pull him right here, but it is not the kind of start that John was looking for. 5-0. You don't want to find yourself hopelessly behind. And for John, that has been one of the stories on the negative side this year. He's allowed 27 home runs now, and it's at least one home run every game.
Yeah, 12 straight games now that he has given up a home run. That's the second longest streak in Rockies history. John Thompson back in 2002 had a 13 straight game homer streak. Turner gets all of that on the Subaru Supermo. That's 178 hits now for Turner on the season.
And this is going to be a tough play. Desmond with a great play, and the feed to John led him too much. And Harper's going to end up at second base. That was a wonderful play by Desi to get to it. And he tried to feather it to Gray. Didn't work out. That's 7 hits, by the way, already for Washington.
He gets it just fine, and then trying to lead him, but the throw just a half a baseball too long, and then John goes tumbling down. So go down, as you said, Drew, as a base hit and then an error allowing Harper to advance. John hits pretty hard.
Yeah, they haven't scored it yet. They had 7 hits actually prior to that. They're going to call that an error on Gray for not making the catch. It's a straight error, so it's a two-base thing. The Rockies now are starting to get a little movement in the bullpen.
Chad Bettis.
Chad started the game on Wednesday. Excuse me, on Tuesday. That was the bullpen day. And I want to say off the top of my head, Chad threw 44 pitches in that neighborhood. Pitched well. 2 2/3, gave up an unearned run. It was actually 33 pitches.
22 for strikes.
That's a fair ball. And Harper read it and moves up on the throw. So Rendon retired. Rockies will have to pull the infield in. Join in on the conversation. Send us your comments. Use Twitter. Include the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Juan Soto, with 2 outs, had an opposite field double, a line drive over the head of David Dahl. Kind of froze David. It was a ball that was smoked.
Kind of reminds me of the balls that David hits sometimes with the backspin.
I said infield in. Forgive me. There's 2 outs. I'm losing track. Forgot about the sack bunt. We got a full house last night, over 48,000. I would imagine it's going to be right in that neighborhood again. And the Nationals beginning has taken the crowd out of it. You know Colorado's going to respond.
They will. They will. It's going to be tough. You got Strasburg, but I think after that first pitch, 25 pitch, if you can kind of chip away a little bit, hopefully elevate that pitch count from him again.
Ground ball, middle of the diamond. DJ saved a run. What a play by LeMahieu. That is why he's a multi-Gold Glove winner. That's a base hit with about 25 other second basemen. Not with DJ.
By 5 runs, but you know what? For the Win is brought to you by Pizza Ranch. And the boys are still thinking division or bust. And the magic numbers too. I know you're down by 5, chip away. Lot of ball game left here.
Cargo drives this to center field and deep, and gone. That's one back. That's leading by example right there. That thing was flat blitzed.
It's typical Cargo home run to center field. It looks like a 2-iron off the bat, and it just keeps climbing.
And Spilly's down there. That dugout, I'm sure, just got a ton of life in it. Check with Spilly after we watch this swing again.
Well, it's a gorgeous swing. Cargo getting the arms extended on the Subaru Supermo. Classic Cargo finish. And just about as I said, you got to start chipping away at it. First pitch, he chips away. Now it's just 5-1.
Spilly, what do you got?
Well, there's no question. As soon as that ball was hit, the guys started yelling, "Here we come." That's what you want to hear. The guys know what's at stake here, and it's a second inning. They had Strasburg on the ropes in the first inning. They feel fine. There are plenty of guys that are talking and being confident.
Desi, look at it. All right, he's glaring at his old teammate. That's twice he just said to him.
I think that was a slider.
Well, that's interesting.
At 86 miles an hour. Still, you don't like it coming at your dome. It was a slider that slipped out of the hand. I don't blame Desi, though. Here's where you want to hit one right back up the middle if you don't hit it out.
You know, it's interesting twice because the first pitch was away. I wonder if there was something in the meeting back in D.C. I can't remember a pitch thrown.
That was back in April.
But Desi clearly said that's twice now.
Well, players have a long memory when they need to.
3-0. Borderline pitch called a strike. 3-1. And in his years in Washington, they had Ryan Zimmerman. Zimmerman's been a great player. But the leader of that Nationals team year in and year out, there was no doubt.
This guy.
It was Ian Desmond. Ball 4. I don't mind taking another look at that Cargo swing. How about you?
No, not either, because it's going to be our StatCast AI, which is powered by AWS. when you could throw some of these numbers out, it's fun to revisit 103 miles an hour, 436 feet. I told you the launch angle wasn't very high. It started out low, got a little bit higher, but not much.
Cargo is 7 for his last 13 at the plate. And by the way, this is Walters batting 8th. And Chad Bettis has never taken a seat. And we're going to get a pinch hitter for John Gray. No, John's still out there. Excuse me. Let me correct myself. We'll see what happens. Runner going, hitting runs on. And Tony's thrown out at first. And now John is going to get called back. I figured with Bettis still continuing to throw. So John just went out there for a moment. And it'll be Raimel Tapia. So unfortunately for Gray, his issues in these quote-unquote high-pressure games continue. After the strong 7 innings against the Phillies, against a different caliber of offense in the Nationals, gets a pat on the chest from Cargo. What a disappointing night for John.
But that shows the leadership right there of Cargo. You know, Billy was talking about it earlier. We were talking about it up here. Wasn't a good outing for John. I think this is the right move. Absolutely. You got a chance now.
Because we know Coors Field. Dave Martinez knows Coors Field. Steven Strasburg knows Coors Field. And with this Rockies offense, 5 could be far from the winning number.
And when you have a chance to put a marker on, you got 2 days left in the season. You know what's already happened in San Francisco. Guys are saying, I'll pitch.
And I'll say this too. I don't think there was a guy in that clubhouse, and I know they respected how hard the Giants played today. The Giants, shorthanded, played their tails off. But I don't think anybody in that clubhouse was looking for or expected help, because, you know, listen, Dodgers are a great team. Dodgers know what's at stake. And I think the Rockies, when they got up this morning, figured we got to go 2-0 these next 2 days.
No doubt about it.
That's too big a swing right there from Tapia.
Yeah, to think about this too, for the Giants to get 5 runs off Kershaw today. Yeah, if you would have said going into the game they're going to get 5 runs, you say, wow, I like their chance. It wasn't until late where they put all the runs on.
Especially with Derek Rodriguez going. But again,
no,
to reiterate,
right.
The Rockies believed going in they had to take care of this themselves to win the division. Tapia, this could be a tough play for Strasburg. Tapia can really run. Safe. Hunter Wendelstedt, kind of a delayed call. If it stands, it's 1st and 3rd. Is his foot on the bag?
I think it is on top of the bag. Yeah, they're going to take a peek at this. How close was that to go off the toe, though, of Raimel?
He's going to be runner on 3rd, 2 outs. He's out.
Yeah, we've seen this. Pretty good play by Mark Reynolds over at first. Not much room to try to catch that ball. I don't know why they're getting together here.
In the run, was he in the 45-foot box? That may be part of the conversation. I don't know why it would involve the 2nd and 3rd base umpire.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure why they got together and not just go look at that on the replay, because it was asked for by Washington.
This is why I wish, we say this half a dozen times during the year, put a microphone on the crew chief and let him explain when something warrants an explanation.
He's outside. I mean, he is, meaning he, being Raimel, is outside that 45-foot line, so he's not interfering with this throw at all.
going to be 2 outs. Runner on third. It's pretty clear he was out. And Blackman will come up.
Center fielder, number 19,
You don't need a microphone if they just go and put the headsets on. You know what they're reviewing. But the fact that they got together, you're at home, you're in the stands here. You're just curious, what was that conversation about?
Right, and as we always say, we get an email about it here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm not checking my email during the game.
Well, and to be honest with you, the email will not cover why the umpires visited.
That's true.
It's not a very expansive type of.
But that's what I'm saying. They send us an email, and I'll get it, after I go home tonight.
I usually push delete. Blackman struck out his first time up. He's ahead 1-0. Desmond at third. Charlie drives this to center field and deep, and this one is caught by Harper. Well, the Rockies get a run back on the long home run to center by Cargo. It is 5-1. Getting good swings on Strasburg. Subaru is Subaru by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by Southwest Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. The Rockies sprayed champagne last night briefly, and their focus is set on winning the division. And it's going to be a battle tonight as they've fallen behind 5-0 in the first inning and a half. They got a run back on the Cargo home run. Charlie Blackman hit a ball absolutely on the button. Harper made a nice leaping catch out there on the warning track. So now Chad Bettis takes over for John Gray in the third. And the first subject will be his teammate the last couple of years, Mark Reynolds, pitched down low.
Well, Chad started the game Tuesday night. They kind of went bullpen by committee that night. They were hoping Chad could give him 30 to 50 pitches. That's about what he did. 33 pitches, 22 for strikes in the 2 2/3. And probably could have worked 3 innings had it not been for the air with 2 outs off the bat of Cesar Hernandez in that game.
No, he did a very nice job.
Yeah, he would have been through 3. Just 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
But again, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Now you're going to, even though it's September and you have an expanded roster and more arms at your disposal, you didn't think you were going to have to pick up 7 innings out of your bullpen tonight. You were hoping you weren't going to have to pick up 7 innings,
right.
But that's the new reality.
That's why when Bud always says, you know, people ask him, well, who's going to start tomorrow, or, you know, early in the year, what's your rotation, or how's it look? He goes, what's he always say? I'll let you know after tonight's game.
And he's not doing it to be a wise guy. He's doing it because that's how you have to. You don't know. You have to operate that way.
Well, what if John had to come out of the game after the second pitch, getting hit by the line drive?
What's rule number one with Buddy? He always says that with a smile on his face.
Be ready for anything.
Be ready for anything. That's the wisdom of being in this game as a player, as a special assistant, as a pitching coach, as a manager for as long as Buddy has. 1 out as Bettis strikes out Reynolds. That'll bring up the catcher, Matt Wieters. That's a strike on the corner. One and one. This is a tough lineup. You know the names well, and in the second half, they're first in the National League in a lot of important categories, like runs scored, like on base percentage, stolen bases, second in walks. They lead in doubles in the second half.
OPS, home runs,
batting average. I mean, so this lineup is legit, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Story throws out Wieters.
Fans, if you've ever dreamed of becoming a Colorado Rocky, sign up for Fantasy Camp now, taking place at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, January 28th through February 1st, 2019. You can visit Rockies.com/fantasycamp for more details. But sign up. Don't miss it.
Ground ball to first, and Chad Bettis does his thing. Couple mishit ground balls, got a strikeout. Quick inning for Chad. Back to the offensive side of things when we return. 5-1 Nationals.
So obviously got us thinking, how superstitious have you been during the Rockies win streak? A, haven't changed my socks. B, I'm not a little superstitious, I'm just a little stitious. Or C, I don't control the game. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
What do you have?
What do you think I am?
Mr. Boots?
You haven't changed
Mr.
your
Rally
underwear, your
Boots?
socks, or your boots.
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. I got the rally boots. They've been on nonstop. What, I have a beard earlier, a mustache, I shaved it all.
Really, I'm with you, brother.
We have a garment for you upstairs that we may have delivered in a little bit.
Okay, we haven't busted it out yet. We don't know what the power of that magic cape is yet, but we might find out tonight.
It could be very powerful, right?
It could be too powerful that we might change the whole time-space continuum, and I don't want to do that.
All right, brother, we'll talk to you in a little bit. Here's DJ, second at bat against Strasburg. Got a base hit his first time. He takes a strike on a center cut fastball at 92. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston, Ryan Spilborghs, the stitious one.
I'm with him. I'm a little stitious.
I'm a little stitious too, or I'm a little OCD, or both. What do you got on me?
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh out loud. I think my laughing answered that question.
Right? I got all the boxes checked, man. Rockies put 2 on in the first, extended.
I thought they were
Strasburg looked like they were going to score in the first, and then in the second, the home run by Cargo. Deep drive by Charlie. They're taking good passes.
Yeah, they are.
You know, here's what happens in sports sometimes, and this is not a knock on Strasburg. It's going to sound like one. The name Steven Strasburg conjures up images of a dragon, right? You know this, but Steven Strasburg, when you look inside the numbers and what he's done, he's not Max Scherzer.
No, not at all. I mean, this year his batting average against is higher than what it's been in his career. The whip is higher than what it's been in his career. Just 9-7 on the year.
He's given up 16 home runs and 17 home runs and 126 innings.
And as you said, Drew, overall in his career, he's got an ERA over 4 against the Rockies, but at Coors Field, 7.20.
I'll tell you something else. And Max Scherzer is one of the 3 best pitchers in the game and has been for a while. Max Scherzer has an ERA at Coors Field in 5 starts close to 6.
Still, he's Max Scherzer.
He's Max Scherzer, granted. 2-2.
But they are not looking lost at the plate against Strasburg right now. They're picking it up pretty well, meaning the curveballs, the changeups, fastballs.
DJ back even on the count. Fastball away, called by Wieters. And that's strike 3. On the edge, DJ's gone.
I think that's what he's asking. Was it on the swing or was it in the Subaru strike zone?
It was a good pitch.
That's a pitcher's pitch. Because it was well received too behind the plate by Matt Wieters on the Subaru Supermo. It wasn't low. I think the DJ didn't swing, so that's not why he called it strike 3. It was on the corner.
Breaking ball for a strike on David Dahl. David walked on 4 pitches his first time up. Last 5 games, you know, he's hit a home run in every game. He's 9 for 22. 12 RBIs. 2 strikes. Home run in 5 straight for Dahl. He's one of 6 players in Major League Baseball this year to have such a streak. Kendrys Morales, Toronto, hit a home run in 7 straight earlier this year. Matt Carpenter with the Cards had a home run in 6 straight. This is a high fly ball in left field that Soto will make the catch on. 2 gone. So Dahl joins Ronald Acuna, Odubel Herrera, and Jonathan Scope as the other guys that have produced a home run in at least 5 straight. With 2 outs, Nolan will come up. When the Rockies score 7 runs in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Do it the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special with Moss at Taco Bell. Nolan had a lengthy at bat against Strasburg with 2 on in the first. He was up there for over 5 minutes, literally, and then flew out to Soto.
Two pitches for Strasburg right now. Nolan not happy with himself after swinging at that pitch. Well, if we could mic up anybody, it'd be nice to mic up a player just to see what thoughts are going through his head.
You better put it on 7-second delay.
That is true. Maybe even a 10-second delay.
1-2. And this is on the ground to Turner. Now Strasburg's going to work at 1-2-3 third. So we'll go to the 4th. The Nationals up 5-1 in Denver. T-Mobile, we got to review Kyle Freeland's regular season. 24 quality starts, tied for second in the league. 17 wins, tied for most by a left-handed pitcher this year. His .285 ERA is the all-time best for a Rocky. It eclipsed the .288 in that 2010 season that Ubaldo fashioned. And then how about a .240 at Coors Field?
8 wins against the National League West this year. Tied for the most behind Zach Greinke, or with Zach Greinke, I should say.
And the Rockies, in his last 10 starts at Coors Field, 10-0. Wow. 2 strikes on Strasburg, and this is slowly hit to short. 1 out. Lefties from the All-Star break to the end of the season hit a whopping 119 against Kyle. Here's a great one. Freeland had a .240 ERA at Coors Field.
Yes.
Everybody else who threw a baseball at Coors Field, Rockies pitchers, visiting pitchers, they fashioned an ERA of 5.15.
What? 5.15?
5.15. Everybody else. Eaton's 2 for 2. Ball 1. tonight may be the biggest difference for Kyle from year 1 to year 2, and he's really good year 1, right?
Yeah.
With right-handed hitters, hard in, cutter in, and his ability to really make right-handed hitters uncomfortable, and the guts to come in at Coors Field in particular, is why you saw him make such a large leap forward.
Part of the reason too, there was 24 grounded into double plays against Kyle this year, which led the National League. There's so many numbers for him.
That's a strike on Eaton.
But one final one, again, I think it bears repeating, is the 200 innings pitched for Kyle.
It just doesn't happen anymore.
202 1/3. Just 9 guys in baseball have eclipsed that mark.
That's foul. And I got one more for you. This is why the ERA is low. It's why yesterday, despite giving up 11 hits, which obviously is really unusual for Kyle, and then most of them weren't hit particularly hard, but with traffic, with runners on base, the league hit just 221 against Freeland. And of the 17 home runs he allowed, 16 were solo home runs.
What's the line? Solo home runs aren't going to beat you.
Well, it's just, you know what? You thought I was tough when nobody was on. Now we got a little traffic. I'm really bearing down. Special kid. 2-2. Off the end of the bat, foul by Adam Eaton. Eaton's a name that's been around for a while, but he's not yet 30. Won't be till the offseason. Good pitch by Bettis. That was someone Oish, that curveball. 72 miles an hour.
Hard not to smile at that one if you're Chad, because of how out front Adam Eaton was on the Subaru Supermo. I mean, foot gets down, everything is moving forward, and the ball's not there yet.
He almost could have swung twice. Trey Turner, did he offer it that? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he fouled tip.
He did well.
Yep.
Even
There you
better
go.
than an offer. Chad's trying to settle this game down. So far, so good. He's retired the first 5. Now Rockies offense a chance. 2 in the first, 3 in the second against Gray. And John took over in the third. Turner, a 2-run home run to deep left off Gray in the second. That's a good looking fastball just off the plate. You see on the Subaru strike zone, it was clearly outside, but it's a great 0-2 type of pitch, inviting enough that you can induce a swing.
The 2 or 3 times that Chad's come out of the bullpen, he's had that pinpoint location that he needs.
Ground ball to the retreating Nolan. He spins, fires, and has the fleet Turner by a step. Well, Chad Bettis doing his thing. Now it's time for the Rockies offense to step up. And in the 4th, they'll have Trevor Story leading off.
the bottom of the 4th inning. Hey, Rockies gift cards are a great gift for all Rockies fans. Gift cards can be redeemed for game tickets at Rockies dugout stores or for merchandise and concession at Coors Field. A little bit of a delay here as I think Bryce had to get a different glove.
What, do you have a catcher's mitt out there?
I'm not sure, but he just exchanged gloves with somebody in the bullpen. That doesn't look like his normal glove. That guy's going, well, what am I supposed to do with this?
First pitch that was at the bottom of the strike zone, but called a ball on Trevor. So Story, who struck out swinging his first time up in that first inning. It looked for a moment that Trevor had tied up the game with the Rockies down 2-0 and 2 aboard. He had a line drive that was fouled by about a foot, maybe a foot and a half. A bullet off the wall in right. Just on the wrong side of the yellow line, the foul pole. Inside, 2-1. Trevor, Cargo, Ian Desmond start chipping away, right?
Well, and I was just thinking about the score. Sometimes when you're down by 4, it seems like it's 10 or 14 runs. I was just thinking down by 4 doesn't even feel like that. The way this offense has been.
Yeah, certainly not here. 2-2. It's a different story. That's why today's game now is played during the day, which is different, but the fact that it was a 10-6 final.
With Kershaw and Rodriguez, the respective starters for the Dodgers and the Giants.
Yeah. It remains 2-2. Rockies clinched a playoff spot yesterday. First time in franchise history they're going to the postseason in back-to-back years, but they have their eye on the division crown. They've won 8 straight overall. They've won 7 straight here at 20th and Blake. Two-two. In fact, after the 11-20 start at Coors Field, the Rockies have gone 35-13. Which is the best mark in the National League at home since that rough beginning.
Won 7 straight here at Coors Field.
And that's strike 3. Trevor got locked up. 1 out, and that'll bring up Cargo.
Yeah, and he knew it. Dropped the old curveball on him. Run for Carlos Gonzalez back in the 2nd inning, his 16th of the year, 64 RBIs.
First pitch he saw from Strasburg. It was his first home run since August 28th. 7 for his last 13 at the plate. Strike. Top of the zone wasn't being called. 0-1 on Cargo. Buddy Black has said on numerous occasions this year, and a lot recently, because Cargo went in a slump first part of September, and it was more Parra and Dahl playing. Cargo, I think at one point 3 straight games he didn't start, but he has always said the best version of the Colorado Rockies in 2018 has Cargo in the lineup every day in right field. And Cargo, to his credit, worked diligently with Dwayne Espy, with Jeff Salazar, early work, late work, to get back in a happy place. And we've seen it the last few days.
A happy place with the leg kick. Because for a while there, it wasn't there. The timing was off. Didn't want once he gets it going and smooths it out, that's when he starts hitting like a lot of hitters, whatever their timing mechanism might be. Some guys it's a leg kick, others it's a toe tap, a little short stride.
Two and two. Strasburg's doing like he's done throughout September. He's utilizing that very good curveball here. Last inning plus. He's retired 7 straight. And now 8 straight. Desmond with 2 outs will come up. Desi walked his first time up. Let's go down to the camera well, see what Spilly's up to.
I'm not in the camera well anymore, Drew. I actually came up to the rally seat, and I have not put on this. I think it's Loto Magic cape, and I'm kind of nervous. Should I put it on?
What do you think, next inning? You want to put it on now?
Oh, I don't know. You just tell me. I've never put this thing on, and I'm worried I'm gonna. I'll put an arm in. Let's see what happens with just an arm.
Try an arm, and then we'll see how this inning goes.
It does feel nice.
Well, it looks great on you.
It is nice. It is, thank you. So 1 arm in, let's see what happens. If we go full cape this inning, I feel like it may be too much for us to handle.
Line drive, got to get down, and it will. A base hit for Desmond. And that'll bring up Walters.
All right. 1 arm in.
Okay, 1 arm.
I might go 2 arms in just to see what it feels like.
1 arm worked nicely.
Wow, this thing feels pretty good. I'm feeling it.
You know what's great about that? It's got versatility.
Yeah.
You know, it works like a charm as a rally cape. And think about all of the places you can go in the off season with that.
Check this out, man. It's like a poncho if I need it.
Yeah.
Check this out. What do you think? I'm telling you. This game's far from over.
Yes, it is. You got the rally cape and the rally boots. That's unstoppable.
Spilly's going to go clubbing later.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Desi at first. Tony Walters. Rockies have DJ Johnson up. If Tony were to reach, Ryan McMahon will hit. Otherwise, my guess is Chad would continue on. Tony's got interesting numbers in his young career against the Nationals. In Washington, he's 0 for 14. At home against the Nats, he's 10 for 18. And, oh my goodness. Putting that one in the hit column. Good play by Strasburg. So the Rockies leave 1 on. We'll go to the 5th. It remains 5-1. TV for all. Well, a rough start for the Rockies after the celebration last night. John Gray gave up 2 in the first, 3 in the second. Chad Bettis has quieted the game down. He's retired the side in order in the 3rd and 4th, and now the 5th inning. It'll be Harper, Rendon, and Juan Soto. This will be obviously the last inning of work for Bettis. His spot is due to lead off in the bottom of the 5th. 5-1. Rockies been out hit 7-3. Harper strikeout and reached on an error. Desmond took a base hit on a backhand pickup against Harper in the 2nd, and then led John Gray to first. And John, tough play, but John didn't make the catch as he was looking for the bag at the same time.
Yeah, originally I thought that Desi had led him too far, but actually it was off the edge of John's glove where thought he could have caught that, and then he was right at the bag. It would have been an out. Damage after that, though.
That's in there. Now check this out. Bryce Harper is going to play tomorrow, I'm sure. I would think. Let's see. And if he does, he will tie Ian Desmond for 2nd most games ever for the Washington Nationals. That's a base hit. 927. The only guy with more is not going to play tomorrow. He's not going to play tonight. He's got a mild back strain, and that's Ryan Zimmerman.
That's what I'm saying, Ed. I don't know what's going to happen this winter with Bryce Harper, but whatever uniform he goes in, if it's not Washington, it's going to look so strange. I just think of him as a Washington National.
Well, you know, we've seen things like this before. You know, Machado's no longer in Baltimore. See where he is next year. Think of Albert Pujols. I mean, it's hard to imagine Albert not with St. Louis years ago, and now it's been a number of years. He's been an angel. Rendon takes ball 1, fly ball to center, and a ground ball to 3rd.
Anthony on the season, 310 batting average, but against right-handed pitching, higher. It's 319.
Anthony Rendon and Nolan Arenado both scheduled to be a free agent at the conclusion of 2019. Since we're on that topic of big name free agents, this is hit to Dahl and left. Harper's going to tag, and here he comes. Throw on its way. Out at second base, the blind tag by DJ. What a throw by David Dahl.
I thought it was going to be a bluff from Bryce Harper, that he wasn't going to test him. But I'm sure Charlie was out there giving him some help, saying he's going, he's going. So you get the double play. Deep fly ball right in front of the warning track, and then a hose to second. How about the tag from DJ? You have no idea where the guy is. All you can do as a second baseman when your back's towards that runner as you make this tag on the Subaru Supermo is to go right where you think the bag is and let the guy slide into it.
How gorgeous a baseball play was that?
All the way around.
I mean, forget whether you're most people watching a Rockies fan. Forget if you're a Rockies fan. If you're just a baseball fan, that was a phenomenal play on both ends.
Well, first it was a throw from David from however far away, you know, 150, 200 feet away, where he makes that throw to second base on the money. And then again for DJ to have to make a blind tag. Everybody gives Javi Baez all this credit, and some of the plays he makes is great. You know, the blind tags. But that was because he had to make the blind tag. It wasn't trying to show anything off.
1-2.
So he catches it, gets rid of it quickly, and then DJ saying, okay, I know he's going to come in there somewhere. I got to stick my nose down. Which guy do you point to first?
Take your glove off, drop it on the ground, and point to them both.
You go with Dahl first, but I mean, you could easily go into DJ.
2-2 on Soto. DJ had a blind tag the other day also.
Well, Nolan had one, was it last night too, into third?
Yeah, that was the one that was overturned,
That's right, yeah.
2 outs, 2-2. Soto hits this well to right, and that's now a 6-1 game. That is the 22nd home run for the 19-year-old.
Well, he got a hanging curveball, and he didn't waste it. 22 home runs. That puts him 4 behind Acuna Jr. in Atlanta. That was just a spinner. And immediately off the bat, you knew it was gone. And the cargo doesn't even move.
This guy's going to be one of the next big stars in baseball. And he's got everything you want. A ridiculous amount of talent. This is popped up by Reynolds. Desi in foul ground. But he's got the beautiful smile. He's a super bright kid. He's going to hit for average. He obviously is already hitting for power. Big time talent. And he makes it 6-1. Middle of 5. In the Rockies swung the bat well against in the first couple of innings, but they have just one hit the last 2. That was the base hit with 2 gone by Desmond to right in the 4th. 9-1-2. So Garrett Hampson will pinch hit for Bettis, and obviously Chad would like that breaking ball back to Soto. Other than that, Chad did a really nice job settling things down after 5 were scored in the first 2 innings against Gray. Hampson takes a strike. It's a big inning.
Well, it is. I mean, to get at least that 1 run back, but you hope for at least 2. Garrett 1 for 5 on the year as a pinch hitter. You got a little stress on Strasburg.
Stress on Strasburg. You got to start swinging momentum a little bit back in your direction. You got to
get this crowd going.
Yeah, I mean, you got an enormous crowd.
Yeah, the crowd walked in. They're pumped up. They know what's going on. You fall behind 2-0. You say okay, and then it was 5-0, and then you answer with the Cargo home run. They got a little energy going in the building, but they haven't had much to clap about offensively. They want to stand up and cheer and wave those towels.
Well, it's the Nats bullpen, and obviously right now Strasburg pitching well, just 72 pitches, so that's what bullpen guys do. They spectate this time of the ball game. The Rockies want to do is force them to get out of their chair and
have like a fire drill out there.
Yeah. Two strikes on Hampson. Well, the Rockies during this 8-game winning streak, their rotation had been unbelievable. An ERA in the ones, but tonight 5 runs in the first 2 innings for Washington. That's a ball. Team ERA during the 8-game winning streak 138, and then you couple that with what they're doing offensively, 34 extra base hits, the multitude of home runs,
333 average, runners in scoring position,
7+ runs a game. They need that tonight. Hampson is gone. That is 6 strikeouts now for Strasburg. And Charlie Blackman will come up.
Take a behind-the-scenes tour of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets are available year-round. So call 303-ROCKIES or go to Rockies.com/tours.
One other note on the Rockies' 8-game winning streak. They're plus 45 run differential-wise, which matches their best 8-game streak in club history. You have to go back to early April of 2007, where they won 8 straight and also had a plus 45 run differential. That may have been the year, Huey. We know what year it was, World Series year, but that may have been the year where the Rockies were in San Diego early on and at Petco scored 10+ runs in each of the first 3 games there, which you're like, what's going on? Double-digit runs at Petco each night.
I think too, maybe it was Jason Smith.
It was Jason Smith who had a huge series, and that was his big moments, if you will, in a Rockies uniform. 1-2 on Charlie. Boy, I thought in the second that Charlie was going to drive in another run. He hit a 410-foot laser, just didn't get under it enough, and Harper made a good play in center field for the final out with Desmond at third base.
Harper plays pretty deep, so that helps him. But this is his 59th start of the year in center field. It's not unfamiliar territory to him, but we've seen varying degrees of depth for the center fielders, especially at Coors Field. Some like to play very shallow, go back, but he's more comfortable coming in on the ball.
Charlie's home run last night, his 28th of the year. He hit 37 last year.
A lot of up and a lot of away to Charlie on the Subaru strike zone.
Bat by Charlie. Charlie leading the league in runs scored. About a week ago, he had an 8-run lead on everybody else, but Christian Yelich has gone off, and now he's within 2 of Charlie. I think Yelich is, we talked about it, pretty much sewn up the MVP in the National League. 2-2. And this is too shallow center, but it's hit well enough that it is an out as Harper makes the catch. 2 gone, and that'll bring up LeMahieu. Two outs, DJ, a single and a strikeout looking.
That strikeout looking was that pitcher's pitch by Strasburg right on the black away from DJ.
One and 0. DJ at .354 lifetime average against the Nationals. That is the highest batting average of any active player in the sport.
Strasburg now is not as really a power pitcher anymore. I look at him more as a guy that uses his off-speed pitches to kind of set up that occasional fastball.
I would agree with you. This ball is hit on the ground. Second, and Defoe throws out DJ. 1-2-3 inning for Strasburg. 3 of the last 4 innings, or excuse me, 2 of the last 3 have been 1-2-3.
Clinching yesterday for a playoff spot, getting a lot of support from the fellow teams within the city. The CU Buffs, they said, got it on DVR, can't wait to watch, go Rocks. The Colorado Rapids, they tweeted out, Rocktober is back, congratulations on a playoff berth. Denver Nuggets, always happy for the guys down the street. And you got the Broncos, congrats Rockies, ready for Rocktober. And the Avs, we saw them earlier today, supporting the Blake Street squad. You got this. That is awesome when all the different franchises in town support each other. I know we love supporting the Broncos, the Nuggets, the Avs, the Rapids. It's all a family of professional athletes, and it's great when the community supports every single team, guys.
All right, Spilly, DJ Johnson in the 6th inning will face Matt Wieters. 3 innings of 1-run baseball for Chad Bettis. And DJ's done a really good job since coming up late in the year. He was the closer for Albuquerque.
To get into 6 ball games too for DJ, 7 strikeouts and 4 1/3.
And that's a strike also. 1-2 on the switch hitting catcher Wieters. This is in a tough area, but Trevor will get back and make the catch with the shift on.
But it's easy to say DJ when you got two DJs on the field. You got DJ Johnson, DJ LeMahieu, and of course we've got to have a stat on that, and Doug, rightfully so, dug one up. With these two on the
dug one up.
Oh, he dug one up. That's a good one. Yeah, there have been 8 DJs in the history of the MLB, and 2 of them are on the field tonight.
There have been 8 guys named DJ.
He's been sitting on that one for I don't know how long.
That's what Doug does. Like in May, he's going, I see they got DJ Johnson as journeyman pitching for Albuquerque. Wonder if he'll get to the big leagues with the Rockies. Ground ball toward the hole, cut off by Desmond. Good feed to Johnson, 2 outs. And then DJ throws to DJ to get the
how many times in Major League history has that happened?
Doug, what do you got?
I think it's too much for him.
Strasburg with 2 outs. And a base hit for Strasburg.
Fifth hit on the year for Strasburg.
Desmond checking with the dugout whether they wanted him to hold him on or not. He's going to kind of be in his hip pocket. Adam Eaton's 2 for 3. Struck out on a slow curveball his last time up by Chad Bettis. Fastball at 93 is outside and it's high. 1-0.
Talk about DJ and his path to get to the big leagues. DJ Johnson, that is. And Albuquerque, and then last night being able to celebrate with the boys.
What not only a whirlwind year for DJ Johnson, but really just never giving up on his dream. Again, he was hurt at a Division II school, Western Oregon, and so he never threw a pitch in college. He was a first baseman. And then afterward, he started throwing again and increased his velocity. And at one point, he was throwing around 100 miles an hour. He pitched in independent ball, pitched with a number of organizations, and came to the Rockies and again pitched well enough that he earned his way to a September call-up. And Bud Black, used him sparingly early, but every time he's pretty effective. There's a 3rd hit for Eaton. And because of that, we've seen him a little more frequently. Now you got to deal with Trey Turner. All of a sudden there's 2 guys on because of Strasburg's base hit. Turner tonight, a sharp single and a long 2-run home run to left. He's 2 for 3.
Nolan had to make a great play to get him out in the 4th, but this was the 2nd inning. His 19th home run of the year, no doubter. 72 RBIs for Trey Turner.
That's why when we saw him a couple of years ago for the first time, the combination of some pop and the ridiculous speed and the versatility to play center field or shortstop. I'm saying this guy, when he connects all the dots, could be an MVP candidate. And he has that kind of ability. He's got 43 stolen bases. 2-strike count.
He's been caught 9 times.
He's way out in front of everybody in bags in the National League. pitch here. 0-2. From Western Oregon, he looks like a lumberjack.
Paul Bunyan.
Here's the 1-2. Inside.
What are you warming up? So you want this guy so you don't have to face Harper's on the on-deck circle.
Turner out of NC State. Two-two. Got it. Reach back for a little something extra. Big pitch by Johnson. He'll strand a couple on in the 6th. Got to get to work offensively. Dahl will lead it off, down 5. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. That's a keeper, that picture. Rockies down 6-1 as we go to the bottom half of inning number 6. There's Spilly. What do you got, Spill?
I got a horrible looking cape, but I'm excited to see David Dahl. He's going to be leading off this inning since July. September 19th, Bud Black put David Dahl in that 3 spot, and the offense is taking off. We've asked Bud Black just how important is David in that spot.
I don't know whether you anticipate, 5 consecutive homers, but I anticipate and expect good at bats. I think that's the thing that we've seen is the quality at bat, the bat to ball skill, and he's in a good spot right now. I think he's seeing the ball well. His timing is right on. Some of the pitches that he swings at, he's just missing. But he's in a good spot physically.
Well, we hear a lot of comps for David Dahl, from a young Larry Walker to a young Carlos Gonzalez. Another one that I found interesting today was Steve Finley. And you could start to see the similarities. I think it's a great comp. Swing, two-hand finish, high finish. And one last little note on David Dahl. 5 home runs and 14 RBIs in those 38 at-bats since he's been in that 3 spot since that second game at Dodger Stadium. Guys?
Yeah, one day maybe people will be throwing out, well, he reminds me of a young David Dahl. 1-0. And David fouls that pitch off. Rocky's got to get to Strasburg here. 6th inning.
He's kind of settled in.
He has. Rockies had him on the ropes a bit in the first couple of innings, but they've had 1 base runner the last 3 innings. That was the 2-out single in the 4th by Ian Desmond. Dahl a walk and a pop fly to left. Nolan behind him, then Trevor Story. Right names coming up. Tried to get the breaking ball in the back door. It's 2-1. 8 September home runs overall for Dahl. Story's got 9. He held up. No, didn't matter. It's in there for a strike. 2-2.
Hit the bottom of the Subaru strike zone.
Find a way on. Start
That's
getting,
something they haven't done really. They just have had 1 base runner since the 2nd inning. That was a base hit by Desi.
And Dahl goes down. Doesn't throw a ton of sliders. Got him there. 1 out, and that'll bring up Nolan.
Seventh strikeout by Strasburg.
Fly ball to left and ground ball to short tonight for Nolan. We haven't shouted this out yet, but Philadelphia amazingly beat Atlanta tonight. I would say amazingly because they just have played dreadful baseball the last month. 3-0 was the final, and the reason they won was Aaron Nola was on the mound. But that's big if the Rockies can find a way to come back in this game and win tomorrow. They win the division, and they get a home field advantage. This ball hit a long way to center field. Did Nolan clip it all? Yes, he did. And it's 6-2. Home run number 35.
Baby steps to get back into this game. 106 ribbies now for Nolan. The ball was up towards the letters for Nolan, and he reaches for it. And it just clears that wall. Harper made a charge at this, but he was playing over into right center field. Nolan's not quite sure either. He's kind of looking, watching, and finally he can slow it down.
In there for a strike on Story. 421 feet off the bat of Arenado. 6-2.
It maybe it was a sound off the catcher's glove. Subaru Supermo. No, that's what it was. I heard that sound. I thought it got the pant leg.
One and one. 1 out, a run in. That home run by Nolan, mentioned his 35th. He also has this year 38 doubles. That's 4 straight years that he has produced 35+ home runs, 35+ doubles. 4 straight years. How many times that's happened in Major League Baseball history?
One other time.
One other time. Albert Bell. He did it from 93 to 96. 2 of those years were strike shortened years.
That was 94. The strike at 94 and then the lockout at 95. Uh, 1994, he did it in 106 games, did Albert.
That is a base hit. Trevor Story out on his front side, reached out and flicked one to left.
This is the Trevor who knows how to cut down the swing with a couple strikes. That's a changeup, so he has to reach for it. That's why that top hand comes off on the Subaru Supermo. Trey Turner giving it the hops at shortstop. That's pretty good elevation, but still over the glove.
Now some action in that Washington pen. They're not lounging around right now. They got Matt Grace up on the left side, and they have the former Rocky Justin Miller up. Cargo, a home run in the second, and a strikeout in the fourth. Huge crowd. They want to get involved.
They're ready. They're ready to explode.
Want to know. You want to slow the game down in these situations, clearly. And one thing the Rockies have, one of the many things they have on their side, their position group, veteran guys. Story, big jump, and it's slapped to second. Story, who would have stolen that almost standing up, is at second with 2 outs, and that'll bring up the former Nat, Ian Desmond, who's 1 for 2. Excuse me, he's 1 for 1 and a walk.
Yeah, if Cargo didn't have 1 strike on him, he would have let that ball go. Let him steal it, but now he's in scoring position for Ian.
Well, you can get this one home. That turn it into a 3-run game with 3 innings to play. Feels a little different outside. Desmond last night took a high fastball, hit it over the wall in right center field to give the Rockies a 3-2 lead on their way to a 5-2 Friday night victory and their 90th win of the year. 3rd time in franchise history they've eclipsed the 90 win mark.
Rockies 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position, trying to change that right here, and he's got a good count at 2-0.
I figure this is all for Strasburg. He's at 102 pitches right now. 2-0. Ground ball, tough play. Rendon makes it though. We were kind of hoping that got past Rendon to deep short. Rockies get a run on the Arenado home run, and it's 6-2 as we go to the 7th inning. Strasburg, 6 innings, a 2-run baseball. I assume after 103 pitches, he's done. He pitched well. John Gray did not. 2 innings, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. Chad Bettis pitched the 3rd through the 5th. He did nicely. Gave up just 1 run, the home run to Juan Soto. DJ Johnson getting ready for his 2nd inning of work. Bryce Harper at the plate. Swung on and missed, 0-1.
Bryce in his last 20 games, 212 average, just a couple home runs, 11 RBIs.
One ball, 1 strike. One for 3 tonight for Bryce Harper. 2 for 4 tonight for Bryce Harper. Bring up Anthony Rendon. The Rockies were out hit last night 12-8, and they're being out hit 12-5 this evening. One thing you knew going into the series, it was going to be a whole lot different than the Philadelphia series.
Oh, for sure.
From a talent standpoint, from how are they playing lately standpoint.
And a compete standpoint.
Yeah. Philadelphia, I hate to say this, looked like they went on vacation already. And Washington, kind of a tumultuous year in D.C. It's almost as if, you know, they kind of let their hair down the last few weeks.
So might as well just go out and play.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know, the season's not like we expected it to be.
And again, it's a team with an abundance of talent. Tough lineup to navigate. 1-0 on Rendon. This last time up, he had a fly ball to fairly deep left field. David Dahl made the catch and then doubled Harper. Oh, here comes Cargo. What a catch! What a grab by Carlos Gonzalez.
I don't know how many times we've seen him go Superman in right field, but every time it's just as graceful as the last. Again, timing is everything, and he times that leap perfectly on the Subaru Supermo to catch that ball, still corral it in the glove before the wrist hits the ground.
Bring up Juan Soto. Spilly, always defer to you, man. You played the outfield. When you have to come in and dive, isn't that the most difficult dive you can make?
It is the hardest dive to make because you have to trust your instincts. And we always talk about the sound of the bat. That gives you a cue. That's your cue off the bat, especially when you see a low line drive. And for Cargo, it takes a lot of courage to dive for a ball like that, knowing that Bryce Harper's on first, he'll score if that ball gets by him. So you trust your instincts, you trust what you see, you trust what you hear, and ultimately you go for it.
He's played a very good right field this year. Gold gloves in his past. Not easy to play the outfield at Coors Field with all the ground you have to cover, doing it at altitude 81 times a year. From a defensive metric standpoint, you're never going to stand out.
No, you actually, sometimes you get hurt.
Yeah, just because of because of how much you have to cover. And Charlie's run out there, you know, 150 plus times. In fact, tonight is Charlie's 154th game. David Dahl, he'll be in center field in the near future. 2-1.
Two home runs as a 19-year-old for Soto.
Tony C.
Yeah.
Tony Canigliaro, who came back after the beating by Jack Hamilton, which, you know, affected his career, and he had some decent years after that, but he was never the same. I mean, the former Boston Red Sox, passed away years ago, but Tony C. was a phenomenal teenage star in Beantown. 2-1 on Soto. Good pitch, 2-2. Canigliaro would end up with 166 career home runs, but his sight was impaired.
Yeah. But with the 22 home runs by Soto, he hasn't played in the minor leagues since May 19th. That's when he was called up. He's still 4th as far as all the minor leaguers in the Nat system. He had 14 home runs down there.
One of the top prospects, he was number one prospect obviously in the national system, one of the top prospects in baseball. Robles, who started last night, was the number 2 prospect in their system. And the catcher last night, Keyboom, was rated number 4 by most publications in the national system. So good scramble by Tony, no advancement by Harper. So the Nationals have a very talented young group in terms of guys that are emerging from their farm system as well. And there's some speculation that's why they'll make an offer for Bryce Harper. They're on record as saying they want him back. Harper says if it works, he'd love to come back. But they may go with Robles and obviously Soto and utilize that money elsewhere. We'll see. Be fascinating offseason.
You're talking about Keyboom. His brother is also playing in their system. He hit 16 home runs at Harrisburg this year.
And every time he hits a home run in Harrisburg, you know what they say?
Kaboom?
No, Keyboom.
Oh, Keyboom.
3-2 on Soto. And time call.
Wow,
what a
pitch.
That's really late.
What a pitch, too. If we could throw the super strike zone up, if it's still there.
Boy, that's late.
And that's a strike, too. Well, that's unfortunate.
And he executed a slider in a perfect location. Harper going again, doesn't matter. And now there's 2 on, 1 out for Mark Reynolds.
Jake McGee is up in the pen, and he is going to be for Matt Wieters if he comes up, because Wieters hitting just 205 right-handed.
Well, it's the same thing with Defoe. Defoe is hitting 157 right-handed. That's more because Jake's numbers against righties aren't outstanding. It's more. It more has to do with that's the weaker side of the plate.
Yeah, because lefties are hitting higher against Jake than right-handers are.
Yeah. Reynolds, who like Matt Holliday, was home for a while this summer. Surprised a lot of people after hitting 37 home runs with the Rockies last year. But it's worked out well in Washington. Good pitch, 1-1.
He's from that Virginia area. It's right in his backyard. 10 RBIs in 1 game earlier this year against Miami.
It's a good couple of weeks.
Right?
One for 3 tonight. He's got an infield hit. Strikeout and a foul out. 6-2 Washington. Rockies were behind 5-0 in the middle of the 2nd inning.
Crowd is trying to encourage DJ.
Harper at second, Soto at first. One out. See if DJ can get a ground ball. Off the plate, 3-2.
What they do with the runners. Not too subtle of a sign by the third base coach Bob Henley. He just kind of put his hands down towards the ground like, don't run. There was no sign given. It was stay put.
Got it. Johnson strikes out Reynolds for the second out.
Well, he got the first strike with the check swing, and he gets the third strike with the check swing. Definite. That's easy to call. He didn't even have to ask for help. That was a Larry Vanover special saying, I saw it, you're going.
Well, they will not go to McGee with 2 outs. Wieters in from the left side against Johnson. Swung on and missed.
It's a really long swing from Wieters.
Night began at 6:10, 84 degrees, cooled off to 66 now. Here's the 0-1, swung on late, and it's 0-2.
We have plenty of options now to go against Wieters. You got the slider, you got the heater. I think if you go fastball, it's got to be up and or in. It's just a pretty long swing right now from Matt.
He's 0 for 3 tonight. 2 strikes. That's exactly what you ordered. High fastball. Wieters started, but held up 1-2. Rockies in the 7th will have 8, 9, and 1. That's Walters and a pinch hitter, but it could be 2 pinch hitters. A lot of times what Buddy has done when the Rockies down is pinch hit for Tony. 1-2. Slowly hit, man. This is in no man's land. Even with Wieters running, it'll be a hit. And that'll bring up Wilmer Defoe. And now,
what a shame.
Yeah, now you have a decision. If you're Buddy, do you want to have DJ pitch to Defoe? And the stuff still looks really sharp. Or do you go McGee? This is, you know, this is one of those touch and feel things where managers have to first guess.
Well, I think he's going to first guess with leaving DJ in. He's throwing 40 pitches. A little unusual for DJ, but right now I think he's had pretty good command of both of his pitches, his slider and his fastball. He's throwing strikes. That was just unfortunate. That was a good pitch. It was just off the end of the bat.
Yep, good pitch, bad result from the Rockies' perspective. Defoe with the bases loaded and 2 outs. I said it earlier, I'm really impressed with the moxie of DJ Johnson. And these aren't meaningless games he's been in of late.
Well, this is still give your club a chance to win game right here. On
the back door strike. I mean, you could add up every game he played at Western Oregon, all the people that watched him, all the moms and dads, brothers and sisters, for 4 years didn't add up to half of what's in Coors Field tonight.
Go back to high school, Little League, even into the minor leagues for part of the time.
2 strikes on Defoe. Serve to left, a base hit. 1 run is scored, and the throw toward home is not going to get Soto. And it's a 2-run, 2-out, back-breaking single by Wilmer Defoe, and it's now 8-2 Washington.
Within 1 pitch of getting out of this inning, and then Wieters, little dribbler down the line, and an 0-2 pitch. Defoe to left field. Tony trying to catch this one, has it go off his glove so he can make the swipe tag. I think it would have mattered. And that's just unfortunate for DJ. Now we're going to double switch from Bud.
Michael Taylor is going to be the pinch hitter, and Buddy's going to go visit with Larry Vanover to tell him about the changes. DJ was in position to get Wieters, and he had the dribbler that went for a hit, and he was in position to get Defoe, and Defoe just kind of punched it to left field. 8-2 Nationals back after this.
Stores are your one-stop shop for all fall weather gear and player merchandise. Check out any of the 5 area locations. Well, some changes as we head to the top of the 7th with 2 outs. With the double switch, Gerardo Parro comes into the game. He'll hit 9th in the batting order. He'll play left field. David Dahl, who was in left field to start the game, moves over to right. And the new pitcher, left-hander Jake McGee, last pitch against Philadelphia 4 days ago. A third of an inning, gave up a couple hits, couple earned runs, a walk, no strikeout in that appearance against the Phillies.
That was a big blow by Defoe, and that's going to score a run also. First pitch swinging, Taylor off the bench, and jogging home is Wieters with the 9th run. It's been a while since the Rockies have had a bad day on the mound. Today has been a bad day on the mound. Phil went first to third. Adam Eaton has been a problem child. 3 hits tonight. 15 hits for Washington. The Rockies survived a dozen hits last night. They got the big outs. Kyle Freeland responsible for most of those. The bullpen was really good the final 3 innings. But tonight,
they played uphill the whole game. It started in that first inning, giving up a couple. Then Chad came in and settled it down for 2 innings. Ended up giving up the home run.
Yeah, the problem was that Strasburg settled in. The Rockies, had some opportunities in the first couple of innings. They got the 1 run on the Cargo home run. But again, you give up 5 in the first 2 innings. It just puts, even at Coors Field, it just puts a ton of pressure on your offense. We said it all September, man. We said it back in August. Nothing's going to be easy. Dodgers, as I think most of you know, they won this afternoon 10-6 in San Francisco. Despite a subpar performance by Clayton Kershaw.
Their offense rallied them.
Yep, they had a ton of hits in that game. San Francisco, to their credit, kept battling away. They were down 5-3, tied it at 5. It was 6-5 in the top of the 9th, and the Giants saw the Dodgers score 4 times. One thing that the Giants forced, though, in that 9th inning, they got a run, and they forced, because the lead, Jansen was warming up, and then the Dodgers went up by 5 runs. Ross Cup came in, the former Rocky, and he gave up a hit or 2, and they had to bring Jansen into the ball game.
I hope that has repercussions for tomorrow. It's going to be Suarez against Walker Buehler out in San Francisco.
It'd be tough on San Francisco. Again, their offense has been limited all year, and Walker Buehler is a tough customer, but it's all about what the Rockies do. They knew that going into the evening. They controlled their own destiny. 1-2 on Eaton. And McGee strikes him out. 3 more runs for Washington in the 7th inning. And the Rockies are down 9-2.
Yeah, that's the whole plan. Okay, yeah.
Cooney Lentz's look back, and John Gray gave up 5 in the first 2 innings, including that 2-run home run off the bat of Trey Turner. John was gone after a couple innings. Cargo got a run back with a home run in the bottom of the second. That made it 5-1. Home run number 22, same number on the back of the 19-year-old Juan Soto. And then Nolan would make it 6-2 with a home run, his 35th. 2 outs, though, in the top of the 7th inning. The Nationals were able to plate 3 more runs. So now the Rockies are down 9-2 with 9 outs on offense remaining. Michael Taylor will stay in the game in center field. That'll push Bryce Harper to right. Now to Meaton comes out. Tony Walters will hit for himself here against Coda Glover. 6 innings for Strasburg, a couple of runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. And there's a bunt attempt, but Rendon was already cheating in, 1 out. That'll bring up Gerardo Parra for his first at bat. He came in a double switch when Jake McGee came in. Let's go back to the rally seat and Ryan Spilborg. Say, Spilly.
You know, the seats doing not so hot tonight. I'm surrounded by people. They're trying to come up here and make sure that the team starts to at least score some runs. The Cape is not working so hot either. So we'll try our best to get some runs up here. The best we can, guys.
Yeah, the guy in your left looks vaguely familiar. I can't place the face though.
Yeah, I don't recognize him at all either.
He's got a nice jacket.
Big fan.
Big Rockies fan.
Yeah.
Huge Rockies.
Gosh, yeah, you see some people and you're like, I know that.
I recognize the face, but he can't put a name with it.
I don't know. Maybe it's middle age kicking in. Who knows? Maybe I'm just thinking I recognize him. 2 strikes on Gerardo.
Second.
With 1 out.
Go to Glover, 95-97 with the fastball. We'll throw a changeup and a slider.
Got official attendance tonight, back-to-back sellouts, 12th of the year. Tonight, 47,781. There'll be a huge crowd tomorrow for game 162. And the Rockies will go over 3 million fans this year for the first time since 2001.
Starting to have to think about if you don't come back in this game, some logistics and going into tomorrow's game tied, what happens? If you both win, playoffs.
Well, there's all kinds of things that can still take place. Got a map now for you, but there's still
9
baseball
outs
left.
8 outs here.
Yeah,
that's right. You never know. That's why you play 27 outs.
It's also why you do everything you can to win that day. And Parra is called out. That'll bring up Blackman, who's 0 for 3.
Fans, MLB at Bat is your #1 Rockies app. Customize your experience to catch every moment for the rest of this season. Get Rockies home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, and game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Strike 1 on Charlie. The Rockies go quietly in the 7th inning. On to the 8th we go. The Nationals leading 9-2. No fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Ad buy. Dish Network. Better TV for all. Who's that guy?
I think it's our partner. There he is.
Hey, Spilly, just so you know, that was me and Huey pouring champagne on your head last night.
Woo! This cape is amazing.
Do you think you can fly? Get the crowd going, Spilly. Let's go.
I can't wait to take this cape off.
Listen, you got to rip the cape off because it hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, you need to take it off.
Can I give it to somebody random?
Yes. Give it away.
Do you want a cape? Huh? Do you want this cape?
Trey Turner at the plate.
This is yours now. It's too much power for me. What's your name?
Danny.
Good luck, Danny.
Thanks, man. Are you gonna go up to the top?
I was just up there.
Oh, it didn't work. All right.
Danny's got the power, guys.
Hopefully it works better for Danny than it did for you. Go find something else. Turner to par and left, 1 out.
Danny leaving too.
Bryce Harper, 2 for 4 tonight. Good story tonight in baseball. Not only a heck of a player, but one of the top people in the sport over the last decade plus. David Wright activated last night, pinch hit to a rousing ovation at Citi Field, and today he started at third base and he took the field by himself initially, and the place went nuts. David walked in his first at bat, got one other at bat, and then came out of the ball game. They're still playing. And I guess this is appropriate because the Mets offense leaves a lot to be desired, Miami's as well. They're in the 12th inning. Two bagels still on the scoreboard.
0-0. The Mets have 5 hits, or 9 hits, excuse me. Miami has 5 hits.
What if the game doesn't end by the time postseason starts? What's the ruling there?
I think they just call it.
So you guys can go home?
Go. Just go. It's like Arizona and San Diego last night played 15 down in San Diego.
The Rockies played 22 one day in San Diego several years back.
But that's when they were still fighting for something.
Yeah. 2-2, 3-2. Remember that well because we got to Houston in rush hour traffic the next morning.
I was in the studio for that game. I got home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my wife asked where I had been.
She didn't believe you.
She didn't believe me. The game just ended.
(3-2), and that's line foul. Out of play. What a Sunday it potentially could be if the Rockies can't pull off the monumental comeback. They'll go into Sunday tied with the Dodgers in the NL West. The Cubs lost 2-1 at Wrigley today to St. Louis, and Milwaukee won 6-5 at home against Detroit. It is a dead heat going to Sunday in the NL Central. There can be all kinds of different scenarios taking place Monday and Tuesday in the National League.
Traveling secretaries right now.
No fun. But here's the deal, and a lot of Rockies fans are, want to know on Twitter. If the Rockies and Dodgers were to tie at the end of 162, there would be a 1-game playoff to see who wins the division. It would be in Los Angeles because they won the season series Monday. That is line foul. And then the loser of that game would play the loser of the game tomorrow between
Monday.
Let me clarify this again. Monday, the game in Los Angeles, if both teams tie, the Rockies and Dodgers, for the division. The loser would be the wild card, and they would play either Chicago or Milwaukee, whoever loses in that battle. Now, if they both tie, then Chicago and Milwaukee, as Harper walks, will play on Monday also. So the 2 losers would then play in the wild card game. The other 2 winners would be division champs. Does that make sense? I know it.
Yeah, and then the winner of the wild card, the one wild card game, then moves on. The other one would go home.
Right. So it is conceivable for in the West and the Central, if that takes place, that you're flying to one city on Monday or Sunday night, and then another city Monday night, and then hopefully Tuesday night you're flying to another city and not flying home. Rendon hits this a long way to right center field, and it's going to take a short hop off the fence. Harper's racing home, and on his way to third is Rendon, and it's 10-2. The Rockies won 8 in a row coming into tonight, dominating play, and tonight, one of those baseball nights, unfortunately, it's coming in game 161, and the Nationals have been the better team from Jump Street tonight.
Second triple of the year for Rendon. To the right center field gap. Harper would reach field, walk, comes around to score. That is the 92nd ribby of the year for Anthony. So just to finish that thought, so if Milwaukee and the Cubs have to play a game on Monday, that game would be in Chicago because they won the season series with Milwaukee.
Soto fouls it off. And the Rockies have not announced who will pitch tomorrow. The Nationals haven't announced, though it's assumed, with much at stake, integrity of baseball, that it will be Max Scherzer. The Rockies have some options. They could go on short rest with German Marquez. They could go with Tyler Anderson, who threw a successful bullpen on Friday and is well rested. They could go a combination of guys. LA is throwing Walker Buehler tomorrow. He's on his normal rest. And the Giants have Andrew Suarez going.
And then if things hold up where you end up with a tie with LA, they say they're going to go with Rich Hill if there's a tie-breaking game on Monday. That much I have heard.
Well, if you don't have if you're just a baseball fan, it's pure joy with all the different scenarios. If you got a horse in the race, all it is a bunch of white knuckling and finger biting.
It's twice
fingernail
tonight.
biting, I guess
Yeah.
is the right term, right? Buddy's hot, and Larry Vanover's a good umpire. He's been around a long time. I think the hardest thing umpires have to do is make a determination when they hear somebody call time, whether or not it's too late in the process with the pitcher about to deliver.
Both times it's been Soto.
96 on that fastball, but it misses. 2-2. The Rockies have allowed runs in 5 of the 8 innings that the Nationals have come up. And this is to DJ. Another run for the Nationals in the 8th. The Rockies, as they come up in the bottom half of the 8th. That's 2 outs, man. I'm losing count. I apologize. It's 11-2.
It was a 4 RBI night for Soto.
Got the ball in play. We had a 5 RBI night against Miami.
It was him 70 RBIs on the year for the young rookie.
Mark Reynolds at the plate, center field. And now we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 11-2.
The 8th inning. Looks like Danny handed off the magical dream coat to his daughter. The powers of that coat we still have not yet figured out how to harness, and hopefully his daughter, I'm assuming it's his daughter, will be able to get a Rockies rally at some point in the next 2 days. That's amazing. Kind of jealous. Drew?
DJ LeMahieu is going to lead it off here in the 8th inning, and Greg Holland, who he played with a year ago. And Greg's had kind of the tale of 2 seasons. He signed very late in the process in the winter with the St. Louis Cardinals, and that was an abject disaster for Greg, unfortunately. And he was let go, and he was signed by the Nationals. And with Washington, he's been really good. He's found the release point on his slider. 1-1.
Yeah, with Washington in 23 games, he's 2-0. He has 4 holds, 3 saves, but get this, a .89 ERA. With St. Louis, it was a .792 ERA.
They just ate the money.
Yeah, they're gone. Last year, National League Comeback Player of the Year with the Rockies.
And it wasn't a small sum either. It was $14 million. He signed a 1-year deal.
They just ate that? Whew.
Kind of reminiscent when Baltimore released you back in the day.
No, mine was $14.
One out. No, he's short of the miraculous comeback, and the Rockies are down by 9 with 5 outs to go. As disappointing as this game may turn out to be, the old line, no question, is it an easier pill to swallow because you got out of it early, as opposed to a heartbreaking 1-run loss, a woulda, coulda, shoulda type of game?
I would say normally yes, but in game 161, when you knew what you had to do and what was in front of you, then it's a little bit harder. But at the end of the day, tomorrow you're going to come out, the game's going to start. Everybody starts, which I like, and I'm glad Major League Baseball is doing. Everybody starts at the same time tomorrow. Yeah, there's not the staggered start times.
Right, you can't score, play the scoreboard and say, oh wow, so-and-so has already virtually lost the game because the other team has 7 runs in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, and so you don't have that, so you got to come out tomorrow, and but you don't know who you're going to face. My guess is, and I'm sure it's going to happen, it'll be Scherzer.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that right now with the folks in the Rockies dugout and clubhouse. And even there was some conversation this afternoon. They knew that they were going to face Strasburg and Scherzer in the next 2 days. Just like, with all due respect to the Giants, they assumed that the Dodgers would win Saturday and win Sunday.
I'm sure Major League Baseball,
I'm sure they love this.
Yeah, and I'm sure they also probably gave Washington a call or an email or a text saying, hey, remember the integrity of the game.
Dahl's going to bounce out. 3-1. Time for At the Dish, brought to you by Dish Network. Well, the home run title is at stake as well. Matt Carpenter, Christian Yelich, one behind Nolan and Trevor. Bryce Harper, 34 home runs, leading a quartet.
Jesus Aguilar hadn't had the second half. I mean, he was everything in the first half with the home runs.
Well, I know one thing, because we know this division well, and we know the people in this division well, and we understand the battles and the rivalries, I think, pretty well. Though today was disappointing for the Giants, Friday night was disappointing for the Giants. Bruce Bochy's team may be shorthanded without Posey. McCutcheon has since departed, and Brandon Belt done for the season. Even though they'll be a decided underdog tomorrow, they're going to give the Dodgers all they want again.
We saw some of that today. I mean, we saw Hunter Pence scoring after he tagged up from third. You would have thought it was the 7th game of the World Series. I mean, they're playing hard to the end, because that would give them joy.
Nolan, a home run his last time up, 2-0 against Holland. That's a strike. We just showed you the at the dish, the home run race in the National League. Christian Yelich, with the phenomenal September that he has enjoyed, is tied for the league lead in home runs. He leads the league in batting average, and he's too shy of Javi Baez in terms of RBIs. Trey Turner bobbled it, still able to throw out Nolan. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Greg Holland, and we'll go to the 9th.
Corey Sullivan getting ready for the Toyota post-game show. I think just about every half inning we talked about a lot of different scenarios that could happen, including who the heck's going to be pitching tomorrow.
And you know what I realized? As much as we or I wanted the narrative to be one thing and a 10-0 run to win the division,
yeah,
the story hasn't been written yet. It could be even better than what we thought.
That's exactly right. We'll go over all those scenarios coming up on the Toyota post-game show. Let's get it back to Drew for the 9th inning.
And Jenny and Corey, I'm sure we'll learn something this evening when we have the press conference of Buddy Blatt. Rockies made a lot of changes. Sam Howard is going to throw the 9th inning with the score 11-2. And Tony Walters, I see, is now at second base. Will start at third base. Ryan McMahon's there. Pat Vallejo at short. Drew Butera is in the game at first. Tom Murphy's behind the dish. Noel Cuevas is in center field. The only guy that started the game that's still out there is David Dahl, because Parra came in 2 innings ago.
Well, 11-2 with 3 outs to go. Might as well get those guys out of there. Let them go ahead and shower up and focus for tomorrow.
Actually, I said the only guy was Dahl. Walters is still out there. It's just Tony's at a different spot, and David Dahl's in a different spot than he originally started in. David 2 innings ago flipped from left to right.
Fourth ball game of the year for Sam Howard. 3 innings. Clean so far.
Two 2-0 on Waiters. It's amazing. You play 162 games, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to come down to the 162nd game, and maybe that won't be enough to determine a division champ in the West and the Central.
I think 163 worked out okay for 07.
It worked out really well in 07. I'd like to see it work out somehow in 162 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not saying that either. I would love to see that.
But now the Rockies need help.
Yeah, before they were in control of their destiny, and now there will be scoreboard watching during the game. Full on scoreboard watching.
That ball cuts inside, 3-2. Off his foot. Here's a really small sidebar note. We haven't talked about interleague play in a while because the Rockies have been done with interleague play for a bit. But the National League's finally going to break that run since '03 of losing the season series to the American League. There's only one game left. Detroit, Milwaukee. I kind of like Milwaukee tomorrow. That's a walk to Weeders.
That's why it was such a big game today for St. Louis to beat the Cubs 2-1.
Yeah, and the Cardinals were eliminated today. And yet they went out, even though they've been reeling. They had a bad final week. They went out and beat their rivals, the Cubs, 2-1. Pedro Severino is going to pinch run, and he'll catch in the bottom of the 9th inning. Defoe, who had a huge hit in the 7th inning. Bases loaded, 2 out on an 0-2 pitch against DJ Johnson. He lined the ball to left field to drive in 2 runs, and that made it 8-2 because the Rockies were still in the ball game.
And that was an 0-2 pitch that he hit to left field.
Comebacker, see if the Rockies can twist one here. Good job by Walters, showing his versatility. 1-4-3.
Second double play the Rockies have turned tonight, and 158 double plays on the year.
Michael Taylor, he had a base hit his first time up, pinch hitting in the 7th, stayed in the ball game in center field. To Charlie in center, going back, excuse me, to Cuevas, and he can't make the catch. Taylor to second. It'll be a double.
Just kind of froze Noel out in center. Thought he was going to be okay, just staying right where he was. Ended up having to backtrack, and it went over his head.
Victor Robles is going to be the pinch hitter.
After that double, that's 17 hits tonight for Washington. Just 5 for the Rockies.
Two 2-0 on Robles, who started at center field yesterday. Well, make sure you stay tuned to the Toyota postgame show to learn which direction the Rockies will go tomorrow on the mound. 3-0.
You know, the way they talk to the players, they've let the players know a couple different scenarios, but they're not going to just spring him on it tonight before they leave the ballpark. But hey, by the way, you're starting.
4-pitch walk. Second walk allowed by Howard. That'll bring up Trey Turner. Single and a 2-run home run and 5 at bats tonight for Turner. That's a strike. It is a tough call. I mean, you could bring back Marquez on short rest. It'd be the first time in his career he's worked on short rest. I mean, he has been one of the dominant pitchers in baseball in the second half. Or you could ham and egg it, though unfortunately tonight you had to ham and egg it. Now you do have a lot. It's September. You do have a lot of arms down there, though. One of the key guys you won't have if you were to do that like they did earlier in the week is Bettis, because Bettis worked 3 innings tonight. This is slowly hit up the middle, and it's going to find its way through the middle of the diamond. It's going to score another run. 18 hits now. Trey Turner has driven in 3.
Well, to go back to that for a second, if you start to pitch guys on 3 days rest, and then say you do win the game, and then you're in the same dilemma the next day and who you would start. Do you come back with Kyle Freeland on 3 days rest? It kind of starts a domino.
Right, which is to your point why you could, you know, do a Johnny Holstaff type of thing tomorrow. You have Tyler Anderson, and that's kind of the wild card, because Tyler's now well rested and he's still, you know, stretched out. And if LA were to win and the Rockies were to win, you could go Marquez on Monday. Foul tip. 0-1 on Bryce Harper. Harper 2 hits and a walk tonight.
If something happens, you have to go Marquez on Monday, and then if you win that game, then you got Kyle to go to start on Thursday.
And then if you have to play Tuesday, you could go Freeland on short rest in the wild card game. Two and 1. It is over in New York. The Mets win 1-0 in 13.
Much rejoicing in Queens.
Well, that may be an exaggeration.
I think just rejoicing that it was over, not that they necessarily won.
Something tells me once David Wright departed, so did a whole lot of the folks.
So you're saying the 7 train was full?
7 train, and there was plenty of traffic heading to over the Throgs Neck and over the GW. Over the Whitestone. Two and 2 on Harper. 2 walks, 2 hits in the inning. Another run for Washington. The only innings they were held off the board, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 6th.
The 3rd and the 4th was the only inning that they didn't have base runners.
The only guy who was effective tonight, unfortunately for the Rockies, who's pitched beautifully in September. Both the starters have pitched beautifully, and the pen has done a terrific job. The top 2 pens in baseball in September. But other than Chad Bettis, a tough day at the office.
And something that they had been doing too during the 8-game winning streak. It was just a 143 batting average against with runners in scoring position, but tonight 7 for 16.
Two on Harper. Sharply hit. DJ's there. Pops up, throws him out. Excuse me. Tony Walters is there. It's like a DJ play, though, wasn't it?
Yes,
Great
it
play
was.
by Tony. Made 2 good plays on defense that inning. 12-2 Nationals. On Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs. Sean Doolittle, who is the closer for the Nationals, despite a 10-run lead, is in the ball game, and a bunch of changes as well for the Nationals. There they are. Severino's behind the plate. Adrian Sanchez is at 3rd. Victor Robles is in right field. Andrew Stevenson in left field. Ryan McMahon is at the plate. McMahon takes that pitch out of the zone. 2-1. So McMahon to first. That'll bring up Pat Valleca. The 18 hits for the Nationals is nowhere near their season high. They actually had 26 in a 9-inning game at home against the Mets on the 31st of July. Of course, they scored 25 runs that day. That was the day that that Kelly was asked to pitch in the game. That came out of the glove. That's fair. Stay on the bag, Pat. He will. First and second, nobody out.
That had some wicked spin on it right off the end of the bat because it was foul to start with. Foul, and then goes fair, and then it started tracking foul again. So Mark thought he had to catch it and tag immediately. Instead, he gets nothing but air. So it'll be an error on Reynolds, his 5th of the year.
Drew Butera, last time we saw Drew, he was jogging around the bases, hit a long home run to left off the bench earlier in the week.
Yeah, down in the tunnel in left field.
Pulled foul.
Watch it, Tony.
Yep, seen that with Charlie a couple times this year, and
both of those times it was the pitcher.
Well, both it was the same guy. Yeah. Antonio Senzatella has hit Charlie twice this year. The scary one was a couple weeks ago, hit him on the brim of the helmet. Fortunately, Charlie was all right. Watch Tony.
And that ball was by him too before he did anything. Because what you're doing on the on-deck circle, you're thinking about your at-bat, you're thinking about timing on the pitcher. And so you're not really tracking the ball, you know, all the way to the bat, especially on a foul tip like that.
He's about 18 feet away, and it's coming at him at 95 to 100 miles an hour. There's no way you can react in time.
It's not quite as close as Helton used to get. Remember how close Todd was?
Well, I thought two guys were at the plate. Yeah. One on the right side, one on the left side. Guy with the cape got a foul ball, but in terms of an offensive rally, he may be done with that cape. Drew Butera goes down, and that'll bring Tony up. You know, the Rockies played Philadelphia, swept them in 4 games. There were some people I've heard nationally, well, the week was set up perfectly for the Rockies to begin because Philadelphia is in a bad place and so on. But the Rockies have the best record against plus 500 teams in the league. So and think back to that 46 game stretch, to the longest in Major League history, where they played 46 straight against teams above 500 and produced by far the best record ever with 30 wins and just 16 defeats. They got themselves healthy again against kind of a murderer's row. So, comes down to tomorrow.
You play the schedule that's dealt to you, because you go back to the 1st of September and everybody's, well, look at the strength of schedule, remaining teams left. Arizona had a hard one. The Rockies had one. The Dodgers had one of the easier ones.
You can't play the schedule game in baseball.
You can't. It's not like you're playing, a college team against a high school team. These are all professionals. It doesn't work out. It's not because A has a worse record than B, therefore this should happen. Because again, it comes down to your starting pitching. How does it do? That's what's carried them on this 8-game win streak. Tonight it let them down.
Yep. Two on Tony with 1 out. And that is strike 3. So there's 2 outs. That'll bring up Parra. Just to make note of guys that are available tomorrow. Tyler Anderson is available. We mentioned that. We talked about the different starter potential scenarios. Of guys out of the pen that didn't work. Yency Almonte, who by and large has been good, did not work. Harrison Musgrave did not work. And then you have all the plus side guys, Oberg and Ottavino. Well, Chris Russin notably didn't work.
Scott's back in play too, because he was going to be down tonight. Oberg was.
Fouled off. 2 strikes on Gerardo. Again, we invite you to stick around to our Toyota postgame show. We learn a few things about how the Rockies are going to go about their business tomorrow. Sean Doolittle, the former Oakland A.
Came over in July last year.
Sean's an interesting guy, sharp guy, good Twitter follow. Comes from a military family.
Piece they did. They're talking about bullpen carts and what he would like to see for a bullpen cart in Washington. He said like a little motorcade of cars, and you wouldn't know which car the closer was coming out of.
That would be appropriate in Washington, right?
I thought it was so funny when I saw that.
You had 6 limos rolling in. When in Rome. I love we were just down in at Chase Field, and the cart kept rolling in, but all it was bringing was a jacket. Guy was running in from the bullpen.
Yeah.
Oh, that got a lot of attention. The return of the bullpen carts. Nobody used
Not much action.
Yeah.
I did a little poll though on my Instagram, because I took a picture of the bullpen cart when we were down in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know what it was? 55% said they would use the bullpen cart.
And you want to know what? With all due respect, those 55% are sitting on their couch right now. They live a sedentary lifestyle. Come on, man. If you're an athlete, you can run in the 300 feet.
Okay, sometimes we know polls are believable, other times not. This one said 55% would take the bullpen card.
Okay, you play.
I would not.
You know what my answer is.
You would, you know what? You would, what is it, Heath Bell? Who was it that sprinted in? That's kind of what your mark.
But unlike Heath Bell, I wouldn't have been out of breath. Ball 4. So the Rockies will have the bases loaded here. And Noel Cuevas. Well, I'm not saying we'll be out of breath, but you know what I mean.
I hear you.
I mean, Heath Bell,
No, I wouldn't take it either.
got to the mound and he needed to leave at that point. Dave Martinez. This is how serious he. Yeah, but this is how serious he's taking it, because rather than go, hey, you know what? We'll let you keep going. You won't work tomorrow. He's thinking, I want to save you for tomorrow, integrity of the game, that sort of thing.
I think Sean's trying to talk his way into it.
So Doolittle's going to leave, and Austin Williams will come in. Is loaded, and coming up, Noel Cuevas. First at bat for Noel. Way outside by Williams.
Williams just came up in the first part of August. He had been a starter most of his career prior to this year. Now they moved him to the bullpen. His first call up the 1st of September.
Breaking ball, strike 1, 1-1. This game's turned into 3 hours and 40 minutes of torture for the Rockies. But you shower well.
That's right. Quick turnaround tomorrow. It all comes down to one game.
1-2. And the wild pitch. And McMahon stayed put. He's explaining to Stu Cole, but here's the deal. You're down 10 runs.
Yeah, 12-2. He couldn't read the angle on it. It's the hardest one to read at third when it goes directly in the same line with you down from third base. Hard to get any depth on that.
And Cuevas on the ground is short, and now it's official. The Rockies' 8-game winning streak is snapped tonight. Washington in convincing fashion, 12-2. So the Rockies dropped to 90-71. They're in a dead heat going to game 162 for the top spot in the National League West with the Dodgers, who won earlier. Strasburg the win. The winner. He's 10-7. Gray takes the loss. He worked 2 innings. He falls to 12-9. The Nationals now 82-79. Now to the Toyota post-game show and Jenny Cavnar. Jenny.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Lots of scenarios coming up for the Colorado Rockies heading into game 162 after their loss to the Nationals tonight. We'll dive into those coming up on the Toyota post-game show.